Share screen. Welcome, Lileto. I want to show you what I placed for you in Google Classroom. You saw that that material, definite article. You saw that. It's very important for you. You can print it out for yourself. Without that table, you won't be able to interpret text or understand text, and you will see it already now when I will be reading text. So what you see here is definite article, and you learn that we have 3 types of articles, one for masculinum, feminine, and neuter to. Ho for masculine, one he for feminine, and to for neuter. Why we have 2, 1, 2? It's a declensions. Second declension, first declension, second declension. What it is, you will read further chapter 8. You will understand what is first declension and second. It's a difference in endings. So here now just dismiss it. Just don't pay attention to 2, 1, 2. You will understand it later. But anyway, in nominative or the vocabulary form, we have ho. I don't know if I have to make it bigger for you. I think, but you can zoom in. You can zoom in it always. So in nominative or vocabulary form, I just having noises. You can unmute so you don't. When you want to talk, then mute it and then mute it and unmute it. Okay. And vocabulary form, you will always see whole logos or whole. Let's say ho alos, another, or he agape, or he hora, the hour, or to arton, the work, so on. And then it is the vocabulary form in nominative, this line. And then you have a genitive, as you already read in chapter 7 and I think 6. And then you have 2 logu, tes, agapes, and 2 argu, and it will be genitive. Let's say of love, you add English of, and then in this was well of, and this of, and that's how you translate. And dative, it means to or toward or with. That's how we translate dative. Let's say, and this is iota always subscripts. Sorry, this underline, I don't know, it doesn't want to accept my Greek writings. So iota subscript here, the tiny thing here, iota subscript underneath here. That's how you understand this dative case. So what it means, to logo, the ending will be or te agape or to arto, and I'm changing, of course, the endings as well. So it means with the word, with or in the heart, or with the work. It's all singular here. And accusative, we have 2. Let's say to the word, ton logon, ten agapen, and to arton. That's how we changed it according to what we want to say. And this second table will be plural form. It will be words, or what is it, love, so we can't say that, but we just, for the sake of translation, and works, let's say. And then you translate the same way. That's something you have to print and know. Without that table, you will not be able to
Excuse
understand.
me, ma'am. Can you just allow Asan to enter the class, please?
Who is there else?
Asan.
Yeah, participants. Let me see. I see Hassan. Okay, thank you. Okay, I think we are all now. Welcome, Hassan. Okay, this I hope you understand, and Bill Mounts explained it as well in his last video. If you found it on Google Classroom, he explained this very well. Second one, what you have on your Google Classroom, definite article, works the same way. Let me see. Okay, that was, no, that I already showed you. And then you have declensions. You see that this is article will be before, and this is hora, our, graphe, the scripture, ergon, works, work, and then it will be in plural, works. And then you see all these endings will indicate you the cases which is written. That's how you would accordingly translate. And please print it for you, for yourself. If you can't print it, then you have it saved in a place where you can easily access it. And when we translate, you see the endings. There's different endings. Now I want to draw your attention to accusative. You see logon ending omicron, nu. Again, alpha, nu, and then eta, nu will be everywhere nu for accusative. That's how you recognize accusative form. Okay, that's something for you to remember. And then you have as well self-quiz, which I placed for you for Google Classroom. What you do here, try to fill it up yourself. As for definite article, it's not for endings, it's for definite article. You see it's written in red. Please try to do it yourself, fill it up so you can get more or less mechanical memory. You can still look at the textbook, but try to do it several times that you actually get a mechanical memory for that. I used to ask my students to do quizzes in the beginning of the class. We would have 3 quizzes in a week, but I do not require it from you. You just do it on your own pace, but it's important to know. And you will need it for the quiz and the final examination too. I will not ask you to, a final examination is not an open book, okay? But please try to visualize it. Easy forms like accusative, nominative will be there. Okay, so next step I'm taking you, it is, okay, we did the grammatical diagramming. You have it all in a classroom or Google Classroom. And we are with you in John chapter 1, and we did verse 6 and verse 7 last Friday. And I think we read as well verse 8, isn't it? Did we read the verse 8? I think so too. And I gave you a little exercise, a little task at home to think. What is in the middle of the I mean, what is in between the words of Jesus in Gospel of John? He starts his Gospel, first words of Jesus. What are you looking for? For his 2 disciples, and you remember the names. And the last words for Peter, remember chapter 21? He says, follow me. So in the middle, what are you looking for? What do you seek? And then the whole story and the last words, follow me. So please share with me your thoughts about, well, this is the beginning of the book and the ending of the book. What is John's intention to place in the middle? You want to talk, Lilieto? It's a difficult question to ask. Oh. Difficult to answer in just a simple sentence, isn't it? Well,
can you please repeat the question, ma'am?
Okay, so John writes his book to second generation, and he starts his book introduction. Okay, he starts it with the first words of Jesus. What are you looking for? What do you seek? And he ends his book of Jesus' words. So if you open any Bible and read, what will be the last words of Jesus? Follow me. And this is very carefully and thoroughly thought and chosen words of Christ, since in the 3.5 years of time it was 1,000 times more than it could be written in any book. So he has to very carefully choose any detail or any subject or any passage or any event what he wants to place in his book. So that's how he framed it. What is in the middle of the book? You come up with a thought, and then we will support it. It's not a Sabbath school lesson. No. You can talk.
I think the general idea, which I trust everybody knows. So it's generally the Jewish nation is waiting for the Messiah to come, for a liberator to come, either from the Romans or from the biblical point of view at that time. So they are waiting for this Messiah, and John writes to prove that, in fact, Jesus is the one who came. So for all who are seeking the Messiah, Jesus is the way to follow.
Thank you, Adrian. Anyone else?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Nkosana, thank you very much. I want to hear.
Yes, according to my assumption to this is that as we know that John was one of those disciples that was very dear to Jesus, and because of his experience with Jesus, he traveled for about 3 to 3.5 years with him. Remember, every time he was talking with his disciples, that is John, he was always pointing them to someone who's more, supernatural than him.
Mhm.
So when he writes his book, he was trying to show us that Jesus is not just the Son of God, but Jesus was God incarnated.
Yeah,
So
thank you. Well done.
and Jesus was there at the beginning. So he wanted, to emphasize that we must not belittling Jesus or to put Jesus less than God. Jesus and God, they are equal. They are one God.
Well
So
done. Well said, Kostana.
to me, he was trying to stress that. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, very much. That's answer I was looking for, and you said it well. And exactly what you said, it is 7 miracles that placed in the middle between those two words, the two beginning and the end of. So first of all, what you're looking for as a nation, and not only nation of Jew. Remember that time as the temple is destroyed, now new temple, and the Jewish aspirations for life is destroyed, because temple is the center of life. Without temple, you can't be forgiven. Without temple, you don't have 3 feasts of the year to come and worship God. You are absolutely dismantled as the person, as the believer. You don't have center of life. That's all. Holy. Most holy place is gone. Without most holy place, it's take your heart away. There's no more sanctuary. It's no more religious life. So this is a significance enormous. With the taking away temple, nations is disheartened. So taking away that, he wants to place something more important for the Jewish nation, and he writes his book not only for Jew. Remember, as the diaspora, and more than just Jew there in perspective. It's Romans and the whole world. And he sees that from 100 generations later, he sees that there's more than just Jew there. He goes to the entire world, and he says, now since temple is gone, and he writes it from the second chapter, there's more than temple, and temple himself is there to come to and to worship. And he chooses second and the third and the fourth and the sixth and the seventh miracle. Or he calls it not a miracle, it is actually a point. He's using the special Greek word for that. It's not it's a sign. Sign in Greek, that particular word you will learn soon. It means, you can say it as a road sign. When you drive, you see the sign on the road, and the sign on the road is not just a sign, or we don't call it miracle. It's a pointing cursor to where you're driving, where you're gonna reach it, what is destination. So all the 7 miracles, it's a signs, particular signs to something, and every single sign who saw you or directs you to Christ as God, not just Christ as the Messiah. It is as the Messiah, not Christ as the one who substitutes any temple sacrifice. Not only the ones who is promised in the Old Testament, not only one who is God Himself, and that's what Nkosana answered. He is Messiah, and He is the God Himself. There's 7 signs in the middle of the book. So let's carry on. I want to still give you few verses, and we read. I think we finished 7 verse. We read 9 and 10. Ein to forston aletithon non ho fotidze panta anthropon erhomenon eiston kosmon. There was the light. And you see here, it's the same word as we use, and as we read in the beginning was the word, the same was. So the light, as we understand God and Logos and life as well. So light was always there, and he's using the past tense, which encompass the present and in the future as well. Light always. To aletion, not any light. It was a particular to, definite article. Aletinon means the true, means real, or means sincere or genuine. You translate it as you feel, but it's opposed to any imaginary, any simulated, any pretended, any imperfect, or any fictitious lights or only sparkles, or anything that seems to be light. So that was a real light, who always been a true light, sincere light, genuine light, who fatidze shines or enlightens, or photos means light in general, that the source of light, not just light, but it means encompass the source of light as well. Like you look at the sun and you see the light, and you can't see sun behind the light, but you assume there's the sun behind that bright light. That's exactly. And panta, anthropon, panta, as you see here, if you stop and cursor here, it will be, it doesn't open for me now, but it will, I will try. But anyway, it's adjective and there's a singular. When we talk about that light who shines, but he enlightens every single, in a singularity, every single anthropon, human being, person, man, female, anyone who enters the world at homenos, eiston kosmon, and entering the world, any single person, anyone, doesn't matter who. And that's the message of the John, not just Jew, but any single person, human being of this world will be enlightened by God. There's no separation between Jews and Gentiles. Will be enlightened by that light. In en to cosmo ein. In the world, aim was the same word was you read and you carefully notice. This is cursor, this is for you the shining lights to recognize. He was always in the world. He didn't only come in the world, he was always in the world. He came in an embodied form, but he was always as the archangel Michael, as the in a human form, talking to prophets and we know the occasions in Old Testament that he wasn't embodied in a human form yet, but he was always in the world. Kai ho cosmos di autu egenoto, and the world through him, through him, and as you see here, autu. Does it Kusoras? Look, we are in a sentence now, and we in framed in two sentences before. The words dear out to him whom? Light. And we in this sentence we're talking about the light. Who is, before that we read, was the word, and he was the God himself. Through him, through the light, world became. That's how we read in that particular sentence. This is the immediate context, okay? So I'm not saying it's not, but through God, who is the light, embodied light. Through him, world came into being. Kai ho cosmos auton uk egno, and the world ho cosmos auton him. You see that ending, omicron nu. This is the ending of accusative form, and this is subject. World didn't recognize whom, the subject, him, and this is accusative, subjective case in English, and that's how you recognize. Ho cosmos, you see the article ho, this is the nominative case, and the ending o omicron sigma, also nominative case, and this you know that is the subject, and this is the object. We don't say, if you don't have this translation, and Denise, you would not say he didn't know the world. You can't translate it because this is the accusative form, and you translate it as a subjective or subject. So you translate the nominative subject first, and then you go to the verb, and you go to the accusative form, which is the subject, how we translate it. As you know, and now I'm coming back, but only now for you starts to clear up that thought that Greek is particularly flexible language. We can mix and match the words anywhere. We can put uk at the beginning and say uk, kai, ho. We can't separate the article. We can, though. We can put some predicates here and some. So even article doesn't stay next to the noun. It's still all right because article is the nominative, and we will look for the ending of the nominative ending in a noun, and that's how we're gonna match. That's that is the puzzle you have to find out, and your cases, nominative, genitive, accusative, and dative will be the clue how to look for that. That's how I explain you. It's highly important to know. Without that, you will not be able to translate. So that's how you work from the tables, and then you work your translation on. Egno, the world didn't know him. And how many? Less than a minute. Okay, I will stop with this two sentences, and something else I want to give you as well. And